Hello, Rejects. It's Greg here.
It's John.
So, Greg and John today, what Greg and John are going to do is we're going to talk about who we think could play the next Joker.
Oh, boy.
In the DC Cinematic Universe, or DCEU. People have been speculating that Jared Leto might be fired from being the Joker.
Yeah.
Some people are assuming he's probably out of the picture at this point. And regardless whether he is in it or isn't, I still think he could be replaced. I have an idea that is one you have to hear me out on when I go into it. John, I feel, has a couple of people in mind that I think could definitely be more likely to see happen. But I have one that I'm kind of treating like as if it was a movie fights question. And if I went with my answer, here's how I would pitch it.
You've got a very distinct answer. I've got like a few suggestions I think could work.
Normally we have like a photo, a green screen in the background, but here's the truth. I'm kind of liking my raggedy clothes today, and it's all green. And this is green too.
You could just not have a body for this one.
No, John. Then I have to pull the couch out. Then I have to pin the green screen against the wall. Then I have to like do the whole green screen. It's just an extra like hour and a half of unnecessary things. For a video that's gonna get like what, a few thousand views? Only a few thousand people.
Yeah.
Well, if you treat it with better quality, you might produce more quantity.
Really
in the
worth
views.
Moving the couch for a minute? Like, is it really?
Don, the green screen takes time. Then the exporting.
John. Call me Don.
Don.
That means I'm your boss.
Give you a couple choices first.
Oh,
who we think could actually play the Joker?
I came up with a few ideas. I started mulling them over, and I was like, well, who would I cast as a young guy? Or who would I cast as like a respected actor? Who would be my wild card? So I came up with a couple ideas. The top two that sort of seemed the most likely to me, or that they could do it the most to me, were Hugh Dancy and Ben Foster. I think could definitely do it, because Ben Foster, I know you really clicked with me when I mentioned Ben Foster earlier, and I think he's a guy who has proven he's a good enough actor who can bring in the different mannerisms and really throw himself into a role, and he seems like a very dimensional actor who could take on. Totally.
That's my go-to Ben
The way
Foster
he
role.
puffed out his chest and the angel wings and just like really smoldered at his father. He's not so huge that he's like the likely choice, but he is a guy whose name you kind of know now and who is a great, solid actor.
And he has proven he's great at playing villains too.
Yeah.
He's great at playing like very different kind of villains. Like he changes up the mannerisms, the voice. And he's a young actor too.
Yeah.
So you get like a young actor who's great at doing like method kind of acting.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking Jared Leto replacement, I feel like he would be a good one. Someone who could still bring something unique, but not be so far different from Jared Leto that you're like, this just is kind of confusing for my little mind in the universe right now.
Yeah, and that's sort of why I touched on Hugh Dancy too. He's on Hannibal and stuff like that, and that's a guy who it seems like can throw himself into just about whatever. I think Hugh Dancy could do a Joker, and that would be a chance to see him in a more sort of wacky, fun way. Or Joe Anderson, I thought might be another good one.
Who's Joe Anderson?
Did you see The Crazies?
Yeah.
And Horns?
Yeah.
Okay. He's the deputy in The Crazies, and he's Daniel Radcliffe's brother in Horns.
Oh, yeah. He looks like Jared Leto.
Yeah, kind of. He's got that sort of those narrow, wiry features.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could see with like the makeup on how he could totally pull off the Joker.
And he's another guy who I think is just a terrific actor, and like he's one I could totally have fun with it, and is good at taking on mannerisms I really like. And then I thought of some wild cards really quick. If you're going like Ben Affleck and you want to stage like a similar type of actor against him, I thought Jake Gyllenhaal might be cool for that. Especially after seeing stuff like Nightcrawler. I think he could make, maybe an interesting Joker.
John, I gotta say, your pitches, you sound way too relaxed.
I'm sorry.
You sound way too casual.
I'm gonna leave the fire up to you, buddy.
You would lose movie fights if you just
I would throw down on movie fights.
Part of it is passion.
If I got on a movie fight, I would throw down.
You got the creativity down, but where's the passion, John? You're just too nonchalant. It's like, yeah, I could go with either of these choices. That's why you're going to lose this round.
You really took that
There's no
that
round.
movie fight approach here. I really feel like I'm on one right now. Already attacking my rationale.
All right, so my choice.
No.
Now I'm going to be all energetic and passionate in your face about everything. I'm going to cut you off at any moment. My choice, I do feel, you got to hear me out on this one. I would go with Mark Hamill. Now, as a lot of you know, Mark Hamill is the defining animated voice of the Joker. He's done the animated series, he's done some of the animated movies, He's done a lot of the games as well. He is the defining voice of the Joker. Now, here's why I would choose Mark Hamill. I feel like, okay, it might be a little weird, sure, if you were just to throw in an older Joker, like, in the middle of what they're kind of trying to establish, but let's face some facts here. Jared Leto in Suicide Squad was a big letdown for a lot of people. I don't care about your argument about whether or not we saw enough of him or whatever. At the end of the day, he was a disappointment for a lot of people. He was barely in it, so we don't really need to strongly hold up this mantle of Jared Leto as the Joker. He's only in it for like 10 to 15 minutes, if anything, you know?
Well, and DC is in enough of an earthquake that I feel like people would embrace just about any change that's better.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like people could get on board for Mark Hamill for a couple of reasons. One, yes, the obvious one would be that he already proved that he can do the voice of the Joker in a totally different kind of way. Two, he's already established as a pretty good actor. He's coming back with Star Wars Episode 8, where he's supposed to have a much more predominant role, so he is going to be in the public eye again. Yeah, maybe Mark Hamill got a little heavy over the years, but I feel like any actor could lose weight if they pay him enough money or get him a personal trainer, you know?
Yeah.
He could lose weight to be the Joker. Another reason why I think it'd be totally cool to have an older Joker is it just didn't make sense to me why they got Jared Leto in the first place. Because they just said they're going for an older Batman. If you look at Batman v Superman, he is an older Batman. And they even established that, you know, the whole incident with Jason Todd took place where they have the suit, like the joke's on you, spray painted on it. If it's honoring the timeline of the comics, it went Dick Grayson and then Jason Todd. And by that time, you know, Dick Grayson was probably Nightwing already. So this is a much older Batman. And then in Suicide Squad, I'm like, why is he a young Joker though? It should be an older Joker. Someone who's matched with like the age of Batman at that time. And I feel like who better else to play an older Joker than Mark Hamill himself. Another great thing too is if you watch footage of Mark Hamill in the booth when he's doing the recording, a lot of times voice actors can just do the voices. He does the voice, but he also changes his body language up, his facial expressions.
When you see Mark become the Joker when he's actually in the recording booth and doing these voices, he actually physically kind of twists himself and manifests himself into Joker.
And a lot of that does transfer into his portrayal of the trickster on the Flash TV shows. Regardless, though, I think fans would absolutely love it because we love him as the voice of the Joker. It would be a perfect excuse to show why he's an older Joker. And another thing, too, is like this would be a chance for fans to see him do it as a live performance, not just the voice, when we already love him so much as the voice. A lot of times people ask, who's your favorite Joker? People will say Mark Hamill. I mean, if you get really specific, you narrow it down with the movies, most people say Heath Ledger. But if people go for like overall scope, even for Batman, people say Kevin Conroy. So for Joker, a lot of people say Mark Hamill. And I really feel like that would be a great way to give DC fans some great fan service and give them something new and an excuse to give us something that we've all kind of wanted to see, which is a live portrayal of the Joker from an actor who's not uncomfortable being in front of the camera. Boom.
Boom.
Movie fights. Andy, what does the Twitter poll say on that one?
Fact checking.
Fact checking that one, Dan.
Jack Nicholson was at least a stocky Joker, so he wouldn't have to drop that much weight. I remember when you first pitched that to me, I was like, wow, I'm convinced.
I know it sounds a little weird when you first hear Mark Hamill.
It's a leap.
It is a leap, and it's drastically different if you're just going with the continuity timeline of Suicide Squad. I really don't think people will give a shit if you just break that. Because it's like, who's really going to be upset over how fucking impactful Jared Leto's Joker? Because the whole thing with Jared Leto's Joker is he just doesn't fucking matter. Like, he doesn't matter. So might as well just give us a brand new Joker instead of, you know, Heath Ledger was a young actor and someone who was like, you know, people were unsure if he could do it, but then he did it, so let's get Jared Leto now, because he's kind of like a new Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I mean, it is that.
Like, go with a totally different choice this time, and give us something that is different, challenging, daring, at the same time, you know, meeting halfway with fan service.
I can see the change not being a big deal too, because it's not even just about Jared Leto. You know, I get the sense that a good number of people don't like that take on the Joker's look and attitude. Also, I feel like DC is in a fortunate point now where if they want to make some changes, it's like, you know, Marvel did this with the Hulk. If they want to make some changes, they probably can.
Yeah,
and that would be like, you got me excited to see that movie. To be honest,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would be really cool.
I feel like Mark Hamill would do an excellent job. We already know he can do an excellent job. You just throw some makeup on him, he'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have to drop that much weight.
Yeah,
You could just establish some bullshit of like, Suicide Squad takes place in an earlier time.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to
older Harley
retcon
Quinn.
something. That would be the tricky part, is justifying that against Harley Quinn. Because there's no way they're going to lose Margot Robbie.
All right, Rejects, who would you cast to play the new Joker? What did you
Jason
think of our
Momoa.
choices? Oh, Jason Momoa?
Yeah, perfect Joker. No.
Dude, that'd be crazy. With a beard?
It's just a big old Viking Joker.
Yeah. You know who'd be a good Joker? Stanley Tucci. Mark Strong, who I sometimes mistake for Stanley Tucci. Subscribe button here. John is on Instagram and Twitter, links in description box, and he also social media manages Bloomhouse and Real Rejects Facebook page. And shout out to Sid Wilder. I might be collabing with YouTuber Sid Wilder. She's really popular on social media, such as Instagram.
Oh,
She's
my.
a comedian / model. She is wonderfully talented. I've seen a few of her sketches, actually. She's really fucking funny. I would love to be in one of her sketches.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And she said that she wants to collab with me because she thinks that I am the cutest guy on YouTube.
It's possible. You might be.
Cuter than FlickPick, she said.
Oh, man.
Cuter than Jeremy Johns. She only watches movie reviews.
Are you cuter than Stuckman?
No one's cuter than Stuckman.
Yeah, I know.
Except for me, obviously. But not cuter than Harloff.
Oh, no.
Or anyone at Collider.
No, Collider has their own...
Collider's like a bunch of good-looking people who talk about movies. It's not a real nerd site. You're all too good-looking to be nerds.
Hey.
You seen Ken Napsock? More like Ken Napcock. I don't know why. Just kind of rhymes with cock. This is my shout out to Sid Wilder.
Hey there, if you ever get bored of watching people sat in silence, maybe you should come and check out the We Know Nothing podcast, where we talk too much. If you want to listen to two drunk best friends talking about current events, opinions, and embarrassing stories, be sure to check us out.